the New York Times dropped a story the other day, and this was the story. Give me 1 second. Let me go ahead and get this ready for you. This was the story right here. The story was how Kamala Harris burned through $1.5 billion in 15 weeks. The story was done by Shane Goldmacher. And so he lays out here different spending of the campaign. And in here, they talk about money that was spent on the Sphere Inn venue in Las Vegas. They talked about what was spent on rallies. They mentioned in here in terms of how much was raised. And of course, that is going through here. They pull the FEC reports and showing, how much went to, Oprah Winfrey's production company, Harpo Productions, to put on the live town hall they did. You heard these people out here saying, oh, Beyonce got $10 million. Her mom, Tina Knowles, came out and said, no, that's an absolute lie. It talks about these various concerts in here and things along those lines. And so then it mentioned a variety of other expenses and money that was going to different places, commercials that should have run. Future Ford weighed in. Then it says some media allies of Ms. Harris were also paid. It mentions Roland Martin, who hosts a talk show, was paid $200,000 as a media consultant, and how she went on the Battleground State Tour in October. Okay. And so then it goes in here. Now, this Roland Martin, who holds his own streaming program and runs a media company called New Vision Media, received $350,000 in September for a, quote, media buy that he said was for advertising. And then it quotes me. It said it should have been a hell of a lot more. More should have been spent on Black-owned media. Okay, says Mr. Martin interviewed Ms. Harris in October. Then it mentions National Action Network. Then it mentions, of course, National Urban League. Now, first and foremost, I don't understand why they put media buy in parentheses, because that's what the $350,000 was for. It was for advertising. Then, of course, you have these people out here. I love the people who run their mouths on social media out here, like, you got Tariq Nasheed tweeting like, SMH, and then you got Jamal Green talking about, he was paid to attack us because we disagree with our positions. No, that means none of you, including you, Jamal, or Tariq, or any of y'all, even understand that media advertising is actually real. And so then I had one dude say, y'all didn't run any ads? Really? We ran this one.
Bob and I both voted for Donald Trump.
I voted for him twice. I won't vote for him again. January 6th was a wake-up call for me.
Donald Trump divides people. We've already seen what he has to bring.
He didn't do anything to help us.
We ran this one.
Kamala Harris has never backed down from a challenge. She put cartel members and drug traffickers behind bars, and she will secure our border.
Okay, and this one.
IVF is a miracle for us because it allowed us to have our family. After having my daughter, I wanted more children.
And this one.
Wrongfully convicted.
5 teenagers were arrested, tried, convicted, and sent to prison.
No men were exonerated.
What he did to us, he tried to end us.
Of course I hate these people.
And this one.
Had Steelers season tickets since I'm 7 years old, man. Me and my dad, that's our thing.
Here we go, Steelers! Here we go! Kick it!
I was a 7-year-old.
And this one.
Jill Stein, Green Party candidate for president. So why are Trump's close allies helping her? Stein was key to Trump's 2016 wins in battleground.
And this one.
In this style, we've seen our share of hard times, heard our share of big promises.
Up to 13,000 jobs.
But empty promises.
And this one.
I get it. The cost of rent, groceries, and utilities is too high. So here's what we're going to do about it. We will lower housing costs by building more.
And this one.
Philly Tough is different. They insult us.
Bad things happen in Philadelphia. Bad things.
They don't like us. We don't.
And this one.
Rich for Democratic leaders to say that Donald Trump is a unique threat to democracy when he peacefully gave over power. He is still.
And this one.
Winners never back down from a challenge. Champions know it's any time, any place. But losers, they whine and waffle.
And this one.
A Yinzer I define it as somebody that bleeds black and gold, works hard, and cares about their family.
And this one.
He told us who he was.
Should abortion be punished? There has to be some form of punishment.
Then he showed us.
And this one.
78-year-old billionaire who has not stopped whining about his problems.
Oh, she had a big crowd. Oh, the crowd.
This weird obsession with...
And this one.
The overturning of Roe almost killed me. I had a blood clot in my uterus that caused my labor to have to be induced.
And this one.
2016, Donald Trump said he would choose only the best people to work in his White House. Now those people have a...
That's 16 different ads. And just so y'all know, the first ad that was purchased for Biden for president was in September 2023. Then they came back and did a small ad buy in February 2024. Then did another small ad buy in March of 2024. See, for the people out here, this is an actual media company. So there's this show, and there are other shows on the Black Star Network, okay? It's called a network. Here's what people also don't realize, is that political campaigns actually went to YouTube and purchased advertising to Google that actually ran during commercial breaks of this show. Oh, I'm sorry. So you got these silly Negroes, he got $350,000. It should have been $3.5 million. BET got nearly $10 million. I know other black-owned media companies or black-targeted media companies that got money. Oh, but see, these silly little Negroes, these silly little people, it shouldn't be all that. Really? This right here, y'all, is a story that ran January 11th, 2024. Go to my iPad, Anthony. 2024 political ad spending will jump nearly 30% versus 2020. Now you got some fool in the chat, Roland got 500,000. No, I didn't get 500,000. I told y'all it should have been that, but we didn't get that. So this is very interesting. This says total U.S. political ad spending will hit $12.32 billion in 2024. $12.32 billion. Let's go to October 2024. NBC. This is NBC. It says the final price tag on 2024 spending will be almost $11 billion. Now, I'm curious now. So if we got $350,000 for advertising from the Harris for President campaign, where did the other 10 billion go? The other 10.6 billion or whatever. I'm sorry, where did that go? Where did it go? Oh, I'm sorry. I know where that money went to. ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, New York Times, Washington Post, USA Today, local TV stations, and local media in Pennsylvania, in Georgia, in Wisconsin, in Michigan, in Arizona, in Nevada. Reason I know, I went to 5 of those battleground, North Carolina. I went to those 5 of those battleground states. I'm sitting in the hotel room and I'm going through television. Ad. All of those ads actually ran. Let me take y'all Do even better right here. Because remember I said those local ads. Did I say that? Here's a piece in Axios. Political ads boost local TV. That's what the ad said right there. That's what it said right there. Okay, political ads boost local TV. That means that the ads run. So, let me get this straight. We shouldn't take political advertising. Everybody else. But let me just give you another example. Let's see right here. iHeartRadio, and I do commentaries on iHeartRadio's Black Information Network. Guess who got political commercials? iHeartRadio's Black Information Network. Do you remember when iHeart ran this 1-hour interview with Vice President Kamala Harris and Charlamagne the God on a bunch of their radio stations? Do y'all think iHeart did that out of the kindness of their heart? No, iHeart got millions of dollars in political ad spending. You know who else did? Cumulus Radio, Salem Radio, Sinclair Television. So now I'm confused here. So you got some black folks out here who now are questioning why he gets the money. Because we have a network that reaches millions of people. If I check right now, the YouTube dashboard, in the last 28 days, we will have generated 30 million views on YouTube alone. Y'all do know ads run on Joe Rogan's podcast, right? You do know Spotify sells advertising. In fact, maybe, and I'm gonna get back to this one in a second, but I just want to show y'all something here. Because I don't think people really understand what the hell they talking about, and that's primarily it's because they know nothing about this world that we're living in. How many of y'all are aware? How many of y'all are aware that the entire media ecosystem is built on advertising? Let me say this again. The entire media ecosystem is built on advertising. There's a thing that happens every year, and it happens in the spring, and it's called the TV Upfronts. And in the TV Upfronts, that's where almost 60% of all money is actually being spent. If you go to give me 1 second, if you go to my iPad, this is from Deadline. Upfronts 2024, where and when they're happening. So you go down here and you see all of this, the upfronts for all the networks. And it lays out their development strategies. And it lays out in terms of, look at all the networks. Look at all of this here. And NBC Universal, Amazon, Disney, Warner Brothers, Netflix, YouTube, all of these people, they lay out their strategy in terms of what they want to get on TV upfronts. And it also lays out in terms of how much they're trying to get. Let's see here. Annual spending on advertising. I just want to show y'all, and I'm walking you through this because these yahoos out here, see, they don't want to do this here. The global spending on media is $674 billion. $674 billion. Black-owned media and ad spend. since all these people got all of this here. Look at this here. A study released earlier this year by the Association of National Advertisers Alliance for Inclusive and Multicultural Marketing showed spending with Black-owned media companies increased only 6% to $991 million. Let me explain it again. See, I would love for the New York Times to do a story on this. No, go back to it. So $674 billion is spent globally, yet 991 million, barely $1 billion goes to Black-owned media. Who watches more TV than any other group? Black people. Who watches the streaming services more than any other people? Black people. Yet Black-owned media receives less than $1 billion. Why am I? Look at this Afrotech story right here. This comes from 2023. Black-owned media drives the culture, yet spending on them was only 1.16% in 2022. Did y'all see that? Did y'all see that? 1.16%. Now, see, the same Negroes who bumping their gums, whine and complain about Black wealth creation, about Black, how do we support Black, all this sort of stuff like that. The same Negroes, yet they mad because of what we got, which was minuscule compared to others. I'm gonna show y'all this tweet. I thought this was interesting. So check this out. Go to my iPad. So this sister, I don't even know who she is. She goes, real question, do any of these orgs resonate with Black voters today? This is some sister, I don't know who she is. She goes by Quid Ditch 424. She says she's an attorney, BRCA awareness advocate. I love this one here. Words in New York Times, her name is Erica Stallings. Words in New York Times, NPR, O Magazine, Zora, Huffington Post, Washington Post, and others. So she asked the question, do any of these orgs resonate with Black voters today? She's got 10,500 followers. I got more than 700,000 on Twitter. So does Black Star Network resonate with Black voters? I think more than you. Now, this brother here, he answers, as a Black millennial, no, but I do have colleagues my age who do. And so he goes on and on. And I said, don't resonate. I said, y'all bugging. He goes, well, there's a difference between resonate and respect. I only got 2 friends who pull up for orgs like this. And look, I grew up listening to you on WVON in Chicago. Parents forced me, so I have deep respect for the work you're doing, just not sure I'm the target demo. I said, are you Black? If you're Black, you're the target demo. See, I love the people who want to, right here, go back. The person says, what would resonate? I hear so many of us saying we need to support our own, but don't. What speaks to you? See, I love the folk who like to raise these questions because, again, I don't hear any of them questioning why so much advertising was spent by the Harris for President campaign on white media. Oh, some of y'all, did I just say that? Did I just say that? How about this sister right here? She's an attorney. Her name is Ashley. I don't know, her name is Elle Woods. And so she said, no, doesn't resonate. And I later tweeted her, I said, well, Ashley, I said, since you're a lawyer, why don't you go ask Black lawyers like Ben Crump and Harry Daniels and Darrell Washington and Lee Merritt and Monique Presley and others, when they have cases, why do they come on this show? because we cover the stuff that the other networks don't cover. See, some of y'all gonna just want me to go ahead and do this thing. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and do this thing because I'm about to lay this thing out. See, folk love to talk. Well, I love this one right here. I like Roland, but his audience is older, and because of that, how many of them actually care about his YouTube show? Y'all know I had to hit him with the facts. I said, y'all better learn the facts. 30% of my YouTube audience is ages 35 to 54, 60% is 55 plus, 54% are male, 40% are female. In the last 28 days, 66% who watch aren't even subscribers. We're the only daily news show that targets African Americans. When somebody sits here and questions, do these resonate with black voters? We launched this show on September 4th, 2018 with 157,000 YouTube subscribers. Here we are 6 years later, and we actually have 1,509,134 subscribers. So I'm sorry, how do you not resonate if you've grown tenfold in 6 years? But I digress. See, the reason I specifically call out folk by name, and so they love chat. See, first of all, J-Mal, I don't have to be paid any money in advertising to disagree with nonsensical statements about the policies of Vice President Kamala Harris. I disagree with folk on GP. That ain't got nothing to do with advertising. I disagree with folk every single day, and we don't get advertising from anybody. So this notion that, oh, he came at me, because that's silly. It's silly. But see, what's still amazing to me is how some of these black folks got all the smoke about 350,000 advertising, but they ain't saying nothing about the 11 billion. Y'all notice that, right? Do y'all understand why the New York Times and CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News are able to send reporters and producers and technical people and massive staffs? Because they got the money. They got the money. They got the money. But see, we shouldn't bring those things up, huh? We shouldn't bring those. Let me tell you something. Look at all the firms that got paid. Look at all of the firms that got paid. Look at all the firms that got media money. Look at the firms and how much they took down. In fact, the folks at Real Sludge dropped this story. Oh man, let me see if I can sit here. Let me pull this up, because I need y'all to see this. Okay, because see, folk don't want to deal with this here. Let me see, Real Sludge. Let me see, I really got to pull this up for y'all. Because Real Sludge and Dim Consultants. See, in Shane's New York Times story, he said at the end of the article, well, we don't really know what these agencies got. Well, actually, they laid it out. They laid it like, you go to the bottom of this story. This is what Shane wrote in his New York Times story. He wrote, numerous firms could have netted big commissions from the Harris campaign. 4 companies received at least $90 million in payments as of mid-October, including one firm whose cumulative receipts from the Harris campaign approached $300 million. Y'all know they typically get 10 to 15% of the ad buy during these campaigns. See, y'all need to understand, y'all need to know where the money's coming from. So in this article right here, in Real Sludge, they lay out right here, the Harris campaign's largest vendor was the creatively named Media Buying and Analytics LLC, a front company for the Canal Partners media firm. Media Buying and Analytics LLC lists an Atlanta UPS store on its invoices. Y'all, a UPS, an Atlanta UPS store on its invoices that can be accessed through the Federal Communications Commission and is registered in the state of Georgia of what appears to be a law firm based out of a suburban office plaza. However, I don't think they meant FEC, not FCC. F filings show the firms are linked, and Canal Partners Media's president confirmed the tie to Business Insider in 2020. Formed in May of 2019, boy, stop right there. You mean tell me, hold up, they formed a company just 5 years ago that became the largest vendor of the Harris campaign? Go back. Formed in May 2019, Media Buying Analytics LLC has overseen more than $280 million in ad production and placement spending for the Harris campaign. Canal Partners Media's president is Bobby Kahn, a former chief of staff for Georgia Governor Roy Barnes and former chair of the Georgia Democratic Party. Tell y'all something. I know of a black company that's wanted to meet with Media Buying Analytics and send an email to Bobby Kahn asking for a meeting to discuss media buying and black folks, and he sent them an email, no thanks. He refused to even meet with the company. I saw the email. Why am I walking through all of this? Because see, when you got certain Negroes on social media who want to question what we got in advertising, $350,000, but they not asking how many black people, why is it no black-owned company got $280 million? In fact, if you go down this here, y'all, it gets worse. Gambit Strategies, a Washington, D.C.-based digital firm, was paid $122 million for media production and placement. Hell, this company was only formed 3 years ago. Just three. Do y'all understand? It was just formed 3 years ago. 3 years ago. That's where it was formed. Oh, Gambit partner Megan Klassen was a senior paid media advisor to President Biden's 2020 campaign. Oh, so Gambit then was born out of some. Oh, we saw how that works. Bully Pulpit Interactive. 101 million went through them. Look at this here. All they partners, all the work that they do, the other groups they work for, keep going. Look at this here. The largest pro-Harris super PAC, Future Forward, paid more than $6.7 million to media buying firm Waterfront Strategies. Listen, an arm of DC-based media giant GMMB. See, y'all, Future Forward, I sent them an email, 5 different emails. They never even responded to the email asking what's y'all black media strategy. So why am I unpacking all of this? So I got some stupid person in here say, Mr. Speak on it, Roland is part of the problem, he's in this for the money. Let me ask you a question. Some other people, Sosa Rock, so deflection. Oh, it's not deflection. Y'all just stuck on stupid. If the entire media infrastructure is based on advertising, meaning every TV network, digital operation, newspaper, magazine, digital site, podcast, radio, please explain to me, why is it that all of those other people are able to participate in the $11 billion in political ad spending, but we can't? Please explain to me, how is it, and I'm gonna tell y'all right now, this is the fourth quarter of the year. In the first quarter of 2025, all of these publicly traded media companies are going to do hearings. They're going to do calls where they're going to be discussing how much money they make on political advertising, and all of them are going to show growth. All of them will say, oh yeah, we saw a 20, 25, 30% increase in political ad spending. So, and let me explain to y'all how the game works. The media companies literally project at the beginning of the year if they're going to see a 10, 15, 20, 30% growth in political ad spending. And so that money, they are positioning how they're going to have their 2025 budgets based off that money. And so what some of y'all hating Negroes are saying is, y'all don't want to see black-owned media get any of the 11 billion, but then y'all want to turn around and say, why we don't have black-owned media? Let me say it again. We're the only black-owned news show. It's us. We don't do entertainment. I ain't talking about LeBron. I ain't discussing no housewives. I ain't got no hair and beauty segments. We ain't talking about gossip. So I could easily be, let me say it again, because I don't think some of y'all get this. Does Essence do what we do? Nope. Black Enterprise? Nope. Ebony? Nope. Blavity? Nope. I could keep going. Urban One, Radio One? Nope. They got 2 networks, TV One, Clio TV. Nope. BT, Black Targeted, that's actually, of course, Viacom, which is now, of course, being bought by another company. They got a monthly news magazine show. We own every day. So what some of y'all are saying is, we need black news. We need our stuff covered. Oh, but you shouldn't get paid any advertising money. Everybody else should. That's some bullshit. See, so if you apply that logic to the campaigns, then the same Negroes, the same hate Negroes, oh, you shouldn't get money from General Motors, from McDonald's, from Verizon, from Amazon. You should, well, please explain to me how you're going to actually build a media company if you are not a participant in the $674 billion that is spent every single year on advertising. And again, just for the people who, because y'all been hearing me talk about this as well, and just for the people out here who, again, are clueless, who don't understand how these things work, I'm not just talking about the general market. Boom, go to my iPad. Federal advertising, contracting with small disadvantaged businesses and those owned by minorities and women has increased in recent years. Look at this here. The federal government spends $1 billion on advertising contracts. And then it shows exactly, look at this here. The percentage that went to minorities and women averaged about 13% over the past 5 years. This is fiscal years 2013 and 2017. The problem is, if you break out women out of this here, the minority number is ridiculously small. So even when the federal government spends money, we are getting less money. We're getting the same money. Do y'all know why? Because the same ad agencies that control the general market, they control the federal dollars. I'll give you a perfect example. When we launched Black Star Network, I'm gonna go to my panel in a second. When we launched Black Star Network, I met with Group M, an ad agency. I showed them the slate of shows. Oh, no. We need to see the content. Okay, we launched the shows. They promised we were gonna get ad spending. I got the emails. We met with them in 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. You know how much money we got in ad spending from Group M since we first met with them? And we met with all of them. Nelson, Cynthia, Gonzalo, Kurt McDonald was a brother. He was the president. He black. Met with all of them. You know how much we got? Zero. We launched the shows. Nothing. Publicists. Oh, we met with Lisa Torres and her team. Oh my God. I can't tell you how many meetings we had with publicists. Numerous meetings. Zero. I can go on and on and on. I can go Horizon. I can start naming companies. I should start naming their clients. Got zero. Dentsu, I've had numerous meetings with them. I didn't get money from Dentsu. I went to General Motors direct. Dentsu does $60 billion in annual billing. Has Black Star Network got any money from any of their clients for this show or any other shows? The answer is no. So please, all of you hating Negroes, please explain to me why. Why should Black-owned media take a back seat and work for free, run ads for free, and not receive any political campaign money, but all the other folks in white media can earn billions of dollars, but Black-owned media can't? And now y'all understand why Black-owned media is almost extinct. Now y'all understand why. Because you got some hating Negroes who all they do is trash folk, but they don't even understand the game. $11 billion was spent on advertising in this political season, and Black-owned media won't even get 1%. I dare say Black-owned media won't even get 0.5%. And you tell me that it's about reaching African Americans? And now you understand why Black-owned media can't grow? Because if you don't get the advertising, you can't invest in your programming. And you can't invest in your programming, you can't invest in marketing. If you can't invest in marketing, you can't get more eyeballs. You can't get more eyeballs, then you can't grow. These are facts. So I hope now y'all understand what really went on. And let me be real clear. The proposal that we submitted was about $5 million. You damn right. The proposal that I submitted had advertising going from September 2023 to November. So you damn right. I asked for $5+ million. You know why? Because so did Disney and Comcast, as well as Viacom and Paramount and Warner Discovery and every other media company. So ain't no way in hell will I, the founder of a media company, apologize for doing what media companies do, and that is fight for advertising. Go to my panel. Ben, I want to start with you. This is the reality that these people know nothing. I love this person here. Rogan, I love this stupid ass person. Rogan didn't get any money. How in the hell you think he got a $100 million contract from Spotify? Because Spotify gets money from advertising. This is the stupid stuff that these people don't know anything about. There's a reason Charlemagne and DJ Envy get paid what they do from the Breakfast Club, because of the money that iHeart gets in advertising. There's a reason when you look at Good Morning America, where they pay Robin Roberts $25 million a year, and George Stephanopoulos and Michael Strahan $25 million a year, they get advertising money. Ben, go ahead.
They apparently can't tell the difference between a show and a network, first of all. And I saw the entire exchange, particularly with Tariq Nasheed. I think he should tread carefully in this conversation, since he has audio out of him saying where he got offered money from white supremacists. Whether or not he took it, that's a question for another day. Perhaps that's how he thinks you should have funded your show, your network, Roland, by taking money from white folks. Perhaps it was considered the money that, think about the money that even Vladimir Putin puts into media, of $100,000 per episode, $100,000 per episode to American influencers by the name of Tim Pool. By the way, J. Maul Green was on that show with the man who received $100,000 per episode from Vladimir Putin's network. Money is always spent in advertising, and it's always spent to spread the word. That's the only way it's going to get out. And that's exactly how they strangle the black message. That's how they kill the black message. They would rather you go get a watered down message from Charlemagne the God through white people through white dollars, through a white company, than to come directly to a black media network. Why? Because it's going to be filtered. And it's not going to be until the end of the election season when Charlamagne the God decides to go out and say something positive and say his own message. But all the way through the entire season, the message was carefully curated by iHeartMedia. Right. And this is why we have so many black folks who thought that the thing to do was to sit out this election because it was the more sophisticated, the more intellectual thing to do, because they continue to get their messages funneled through white folks. Would they have been better? Would they have been okay if there was a white intercessor for you and that perhaps you would have gotten the money from a white person passed down to you, Roland Martin? That's what people like Tariq Nasheed, J. Mal Green. That's what they're saying.
See, here's the deal. Listen. Y'all, I'm trying to explain. What these people don't understand, Larry, and Charlamagne works for iHeartRadio. They own the Breakfast Club. That's fine. He can say whatever he wants. But the reality is iHeartRadio gets advertising money. It does. If I pull up right now, matter of fact, if I pull up, if I just pull up, and it's just a fact, it's just a fact, it's just a fact that when you look at these media companies, they actually make their money from advertising. That's where their money comes from. iHeartMedia is a publicly traded company. That's what they are. And so they make revenue. And the reality is you can't grow a business unless you grow revenue. This show right here, this is iHeartMedia stock. It's right there. And there's nothing wrong with that. Urban One is a publicly traded media company. Comcast, publicly traded media company. Netflix, publicly traded media company. Disney, publicly traded media company. I can go on. Warner Discovery, publicly traded media company. Lionsgate, publicly traded media company. This is what happens. This is why, and I got no problem saying this, Larry, Netflix, since some of y'all just don't get this, let me show y'all this here. This right here is the stock of Netflix, right here. $871.32 a share. Netflix has reached out to me on numerous occasions, and they wanted to get, hey, we got this junket and that junket and this junket and that junket. And I said, is there an ad buy that goes along with that junket? And let me be real clear. I've said this to Starz. I've said this to Amazon Prime Video. I've said this to Hulu. I said it to Oprah's network OWN. When I was at TV One, I literally said, I am no longer going to keep putting talent of your shows on the network and we not get paid. And this is what I've said to Netflix, to Amazon Prime, to Prime Video, to Hulu, to any of these people. If you respect my audience and my show enough to want your talent on it, respect me enough to pay for advertising. Guess what? When we did Shirley, the movie on Netflix, they actually bought advertising. Wasn't a lot, bought advertising. We ran the promo, we ran the commercial. They called me about other stuff. And I said, is there an ad budget? No, it's not. No, thank you. I'm not going to do 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 interviews that don't benefit me economically, but that benefits you in terms of viewership unless there's advertising. You know why? Because I can't deposit, wow, Roland, that was a great story.
Yeah. So, Roland, I think people are missing something. You're a CEO, owner of a multimedia company. I mean, that's first and foremost your job. You have bills to pay and people to take care of who have lives and are professionals. The other thing, Roland, is when this general conversation, and I follow you on various social media platforms. One of the things that really troubles me is as a black man is the level of anti-blackness that I see on social media, particularly platforms like formerly Twitter, now X. Also, that these platforms have given people an opportunity to criticize, critique, which is fine, but really root themselves in these anti-Black ideas that are harmful to the Black community. Listen, if you have a fair critique, sure, I know you like more anyone else, we're more than willing to hear that out. But when it comes to these gotcha moments on social media, with, like you said, no context to why the money was was sent by the campaigns, and the idea that if you truly believe in Black investment and Black Wall Street, so to speak, then you should be having a problem with a Black owner of a platform that provides information to millions of Americans, particularly members of the Black community, in terms of politics, culture, or various other issues. You shouldn't have a problem with it. Also, considering the changes about to occur over the next couple of weeks, you need to focus your energy on the things that will make our lives far more difficult in January, in a little over a month, 2 months from now. So once again, we need to really shift this focus. And this, like I said, these ideas are rooted in anti-Blackness, and focus on dismantling white supremacy, which is truly the problem. And we should be uplifting and supporting Black-owned businesses and investing in them, instead of, once again, playing this gotcha game. And I'll go back to my point. Social media is giving platforms to a lot of folks who really have no idea what they're saying. They put something out there, and then they just consistently defend it without acknowledging, like, hey, listen, I was wrong. And so I'm glad you unpacked, what you talked about in terms of the ad buy. I knew what it was when I read the article in the New York Times. But unfortunately, once again, a lot of these ideas are rooted in anti-Blackness, and these people are about a paycheck, and they're not really concerned about the challenges and issues that confront the Black community.
No, they haven't built anything. They haven't started anything. They haven't grown anything. But then they complain, we're not getting our stuff covered. Why is it not getting covered? It's not getting covered because they don't care. We do stuff in fact, we got a segment coming up. That's our marketplace segment. We feature Black-owned companies every week on this show. Please show me a network in America that features Black-owned companies. I don't charge them to come on the show. But again, this is just the Elogic that happens. And so you got hating Negroes, Mustafa, and I ignore them. I ignore them, have always ignored them. These are the same people who said this show was not going to be successful. These are the same people who said it was never going to grow, it was never going to be able to be built. And the fact of the matter is, we have built it. And we're not going to stop, but our people need to understand there is an economy. There is an entire media complex that is built around political ad spending every 2 years for the midterms, every 4 years for the presidential race, and billions are spent every year, and Black-owned media is locked out of it. And then we have these hating Negroes who are tripping because literally we're getting crumbs, and they're like, oh, how dare you?
Yeah, I always see everything as an educational moment, and I'm hoping that some of the information that you share, because nobody's going to take 100% of the information, is hopefully going to help people to have a better understanding of what's actually happening in this space and the strategies that are out there to limit our participation. Because people understand that if they can limit us economically, then it creates so many other dynamics that makes it difficult for us to thrive, right? So many folks are just grounded and anchored in survival, and we're trying to break that paradigm. A part of that is people talk about liberation, and they want liberation. Well, liberation is a part of that is economic justice, and we're talking about making sure that our folks have a fair opportunity to be able to participate in these processes fairly and make sure that there's equality in there. The other part of it, Roland, is that many people don't get a chance to see what's going on behind the scenes and how many Black folks you actually hire. I remember the first time that I came to the studio and being able to look behind the cameras and see all those Black faces that were garnering, new skills and being able to help share in the creation of these stories that you put out there for folks. So that is a part of addressing the black wealth gap that exists inside of our country, but folks don't ever get a chance to see that. They also don't get a chance to see, individuals like me who work in communities and I'm walking to, an event, and then I come around the turn and you're there actually filming, and you're the only one who's there filming, sharing those stories that are happening inside of our communities, both the impacts, the opportunities, and how people are being transformational, but nobody ever gets a chance to see that. So if we truly love each other, we talk about black love all the time. And, sometimes it's harder to see it because we're so continually tearing each other down while other people are stacking dollars because we are focusing on folks inside of our own community and being an impediment to them being able to move forward. I mean, I think we've got to really reevaluate if we actually truly love each other. And if we do, then we've got to find ways to better support each other. And a part of that support is making sure that we are supporting black businesses, which is a theme that many people talk about. But when it becomes, it comes down to the realness of that, we often are a part of what's slowing each other down. So we've got an opportunity in this moment, because things are going to get real crazy here real soon, that we have got to rally around each other. We've got to uplift each other. And even though we might not agree on 100% of the things, the one thing that when you look in that mirror, you see a black face looking back at you, and we should be supporting our people.
And I'm just going to say this here. For all y'all folks who run y'all mouths, this is all I want to know. When your ass get in trouble, who you going to call? When white mainstream media don't even respond to your email. Because see, I get the emails every day. My son is in jail. I lost a job because of discrimination. I want to file a lawsuit. I get stuff every single day. So if we're not impactful, why do folks email us constantly and call us? Why do they stop us on the street? But again, this is all I want hateful Negroes to answer. Please show me what other black-owned media company devotes this much time to black news every single day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Take your time. See, I don't worry about what other people are doing. I focus on what we are doing. And I'm gonna tell you right now, we're gonna keep building. And we're going to keep demanding advertising money. And I'm going to keep fighting these ad agencies, all of them. I'm talking about Group M. I'm talking about Publicis. I'm talking about Horizon. I'm going to go down the line. And I'm going to tell you right now, these political media companies, we coming after y'all too. Because y'all been freezing out black media companies. Y'all been freezing out black-owned ad agencies, not even returning emails, not even giving them the courtesy of a response. And you think for a second, and just so y'all know, when you talk about doing $300 million in billing, and they start pulling, let me tell you what they do. They do their 10, 12, 15%, then they send some of the stuff to another company, and then they get their cut, and they own that company too. So these Democrat media companies are earning $20, $30, $40, $50 million in billing off of these political campaigns. And you didn't see a black-owned company in that top 5, did you? No, you didn't. So don't think for a second that we're going to stop. So I don't really give a damn what Tariq or Jamal or Marcel or any of y'all. I really don't give a damn what any of y'all think, because we are doing the work that Frederick Douglass did, Ida B. Wells Barnett did, Robert Abbott did, Shalala Bass did, John Sinstack, John H. Johnson, Butch Graves. We doing that work, and we don't care what the critics have to say, because the people stand with us. And they see the end result of that work every single black ass day.
Hi, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Fanbase is a free to download, free to use, next generation social media platform that allows anyone to have followers and subscribers on the same page. Fanbase was built through investment dollars from equity crowdfunding from the Jobs Act. People just like you help build Fanbase. And we're looking for more people to help build Fanbase. We are currently raising $17 million in a Regulation 8 crowdfund on Start Engine. We've already crossed $2.1 million, but we're looking to raise more capital from people just like you that deserve the opportunity to invest in early stage startups without having to be accredited investors. So right now, I'd like you to go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest. The minimum to invest is $399. That gets you 60 shares of stock in Fanbase right now, today. And then use Fanbase to connect with friends, grow your audience, and be you without limits.